Let's be real. When it comes to intimacy, women don't just want connection, they want satisfaction. Too often, though, couples fall into a routine that doesn't actually deliver what she needs. And here's the truth: female pleasure isn't complicated when you understand what positions truly work for her body. Today, I'm going to share 3 positions that can immediately increase her satisfaction and create more powerful, lasting intimacy. Number 1, the modified missionary. This isn't the same old missionary position. Elevating her hips with the pillow changes the angle of penetration, making it easier to stimulate her most sensitive areas. It's simple, but the difference is dramatic. This small adjustment can transform an ordinary moment into something unforgettable. Number 2, woman on top. It gives her full control over speed, depth, and angle, which means she can guide the experience toward what feels best for her. Too often, women feel like pleasure is something they just receive. In this position, she leads. It's empowering, deeply satisfying, and it builds confidence inside and outside the bedroom. Number 3, spooning. This position allows for closeness and comfort while keeping intimacy front and center. It also makes it easier for your hands to be free, giving you the chance to focus on multiple pleasure points at once. Spooning is about more than just sex. It's about staying connected, breathing together, and letting passion grow without pressure. Here's what matters most: women deserve partners who care enough to pay attention. When you focus on what works for her body, satisfaction isn't just possible, it's guaranteed. So here's my challenge to you: don't settle for routine. Don't assume she's satisfied just because you finished. Take the time to explore these positions, listen to her feedback, and create an experience that makes her want more every time. Because the truth is, intimacy isn't about quantity, it's about quality. And when you give her that, you don't just create pleasure, you create connection. When it comes to female pleasure, one of the most overlooked truths is that angles matter far more than stamina. Many people assume that lasting longer automatically means greater satisfaction, but that belief misses the real point. A woman's anatomy responds differently depending on depth, pressure, and the way penetration aligns with her most sensitive areas. You can go for hours, but if the angle isn't right, she won't feel the intense pleasure you're hoping she does. On the other hand, even a short encounter can leave her completely fulfilled if the position allows you to reach the right spot. Understanding this changes the entire experience because it shifts the focus from performance to precision. Think about the structure of the female body for a moment. The clitoris isn't only the external part you see. It extends internally with branches that surround the vaginal canal, which means certain angles of penetration directly stimulate these inner structures. Straight, shallow thrusts may not touch those areas at all, leaving her underwhelmed even if you're putting in effort. Tilting her hips slightly upward or positioning yourself differently can change everything. Suddenly, you're not just moving inside her, you're pressing into the exact nerves that ignite her body with pleasure. This is why angles matter. They unlock sensations she can't reach on her own. Angles also play a key role in creating variety during intimacy. Routine positions often hit the same spots again and again, which can become repetitive and less stimulating. But small shifts like raising her pelvis with a pillow or slightly adjusting your position create new sensations without needing to switch positions entirely. This keeps the experience exciting while also ensuring that you're paying attention to her physical responses. When she reacts positively to a certain movement, it's a sign that the angle is working. Following those cues turns intimacy into a shared exploration instead of a one-sided performance. What most people don't realize is how much angles can compensate for other limitations. You don't need to be the strongest or the most enduring partner in the world. By understanding how her body works, you can create deeper satisfaction through smarter positioning. It's not about pushing harder or faster, it's about being deliberate and intentional with every movement. The right angle not only increases her pleasure, but also reduces the strain on you, making the experience more enjoyable for both partners. It's about efficiency, doing less but achieving more by being aware of what actually works. A practical example is the difference between flat penetration and angled penetration. Flat penetration often misses the areas that bring her the most pleasure, while an upward angle allows contact with the anterior wall of the vagina, which is where heightened sensitivity exists for many women. Even a small tilt of the hips or a shift in the way you're positioned can lead to dramatically different results. It's not about reinventing sex, it's about using awareness and technique to maximize the satisfaction she feels. This awareness builds trust because she sees that you're not just focused on yourself but on what truly fulfills her. When a woman takes the lead by being on top, she gains control in a way that completely changes her experience of intimacy. Instead of waiting to see how you move, she decides the rhythm, the depth, and the angle that feels best for her body. This removes the guessing game and puts her in a position where she can prioritize her own pleasure without hesitation. It is not just about switching roles for the sake of variety, it is about giving her the freedom to follow what feels right in real time. That level of control naturally heightens her arousal because she is no longer adjusting to what you are doing, she is guiding you exactly where she needs you. Control also plays into psychological satisfaction, which is often just as important as the physical side. When she feels like her body and her needs are being respected, she relaxes and allows herself to enjoy the moment more fully. Woman on Top creates an opportunity for her to express her confidence and feel empowered, and that mindset amplifies her physical pleasure. She is not just participating in sex, she is steering it, which gives her a deeper sense of connection to what is happening. That sense of ownership can even make her orgasms more intense because she has built the experience around her own rhythms instead of trying to keep up with yours. Another advantage of this position is how much variety it allows within itself. She can sit upright and ride slowly to build intimacy and control every inch of the penetration. She can lean forward, bringing her chest closer to yours, which deepens the angle and creates a more intense sensation. She can also change her pace easily, from slow grinding that stimulates her clitoris against your pelvis to faster thrusts that provide deeper penetration. This flexibility means she can explore what combination of movements brings her the highest level of satisfaction. It is not static or repetitive, it evolves as she listens to her body. For you, letting her take control can be just as rewarding because it gives you the chance to pay attention in a different way. Instead of focusing on performance, you can focus on reading her expressions, her breathing, and the subtle cues that tell you when she is reaching new levels of pleasure. It also frees your hands, which means you can stimulate her in other areas at the same time, adding another layer to her experience. The combination of her control and your support makes intimacy more balanced and ensures that her satisfaction is the priority. Many men worry that giving up control means losing dominance, but in reality it creates a more powerful exchange. Allowing her to guide the experience shows confidence and trust, and that makes the connection even stronger. She feels desired because you are willing to let her take charge without ego getting in the way. At the same time, you are still a vital part of the moment, supporting her movements and responding to her cues. The result is not just physical pleasure but a deeper bond that comes from truly sharing control of the experience together. One of the biggest mistakes people make during intimacy is believing that faster or harder always equals better. The truth is that women respond far more to steady rhythm and the right pressure than to random or unpredictable movement. Consistency gives her body time to build up arousal and stay in that heightened state without being thrown off balance. When your movements are too erratic, it interrupts her ability to reach deeper pleasure because her body cannot anticipate and adjust. A smooth, repeated rhythm combined with controlled pressure allows her to stay focused on the sensations instead of being distracted by sudden changes that break the flow. Think about how the body reacts to touch outside of sex. A massage feels good because the pressure is even, steady, and deliberate, not rushed or uneven. The same principle applies to sexual pleasure. When you maintain a rhythm that her body can follow, the sensations intensify with each repetition. It builds anticipation and creates a natural progression that draws her closer to orgasm. If you are too quick to switch speeds or change angles, you cut off that buildup before it reaches its peak. This is why rhythm and pressure matter more than sheer force or random motion. It is not about doing more, it is about doing the right thing consistently. Pressure also makes a huge difference depending on where and how it is applied. For some women, lighter teasing pressure builds excitement, while for others, firmer, more deliberate contact feels more satisfying. What matters is finding that balance and then staying with it long enough for her body to fully respond. Many men make the mistake of assuming that once she reacts, it is time to switch things up, but often she just needs the same rhythm and pressure to continue until it takes her over the edge. Holding steady when you see her body responding is often the key to unlocking stronger orgasms. Rhythm is also deeply psychological. A predictable, controlled pace helps her relax and trust the moment, while chaotic or rushed movements create tension and make her feel like the experience is out of sync. That trust allows her to let go and immerse herself in pleasure without overthinking. When you keep a steady pace, you are showing her that you are tuned into her body and committed to what feels good for her, not just what feels good for you. This psychological safety is just as important as the physical act itself because arousal begins in the mind before it is fully felt in the body. There is also a biological reason why rhythm and pressure matter. Female arousal depends on blood flow to sensitive tissues, and that circulation increases with consistent stimulation. Break the rhythm too often and the buildup slows down, making it harder for her to climax. Keep it steady and the sensitivity intensifies, creating stronger and more lasting pleasure. It is not about speed or variety, it is about patience and control. By focusing on pressure and rhythm, you transform intimacy from a random act into a deliberate experience that gives her exactly what her body craves. Closeness is often the missing ingredient in sexual satisfaction, and positions like spooning prove how powerful intimacy can be when it goes beyond just physical movement. In spooning, bodies are pressed together from head to toe, and that skin-to-skin contact builds a sense of security and warmth. When she feels safe and cherished in your arms, her body naturally responds with more openness and arousal. This position allows her to relax completely because there is no pressure to perform, no heavy weight above her, and no sense of distance between you. Instead, there is a softness that encourages passion to flow more naturally. The beauty of spooning is that it creates both comfort and eroticism at the same time. She can feel your breath against her neck, your chest against her back, and your hands free to explore her body in ways that add layers of stimulation. Unlike positions that focus only on penetration, spooning turns the entire body into part of the experience. Every touch, kiss, and gentle squeeze adds to her arousal, reminding her that sex is not just about one act but about an atmosphere of connection. That closeness often intensifies the emotional side of intimacy, which directly fuels her physical satisfaction. Spooning also allows for a slower, more sensual rhythm that many women find deeply satisfying. Without the pressure of face-to-face performance, both partners can focus more on feeling than on appearance. The angle of penetration is different as well, often creating deeper sensations that target areas other positions might miss. Combined with the ability to caress her simultaneously, this makes spooning one of the most versatile positions for blending tenderness with passion. It is not rushed or mechanical, it is natural and flowing, which is why so many women describe it as one of the most fulfilling ways to connect. Another powerful aspect of closeness in spooning is the psychological intimacy it provides. When she is in your arms, she feels enveloped and protected, which activates emotional trust. That trust allows her to let go of any tension or self-consciousness, making it easier for her to enjoy the experience fully. The mind and body are linked, and when her mind feels safe, her body is more responsive. In many ways, spooning bridges the gap between sex and affection, proving that the two are not separate but deeply intertwined. The satisfaction she feels is not just physical release but the sense of being fully connected to you. Spooning also opens the door to creativity because it leaves your hands free. You can reach around to stimulate her clitoris, run your fingers across her breasts, or hold her tighter to increase the sense of passion. Every small gesture adds to her pleasure, and because of the closeness, she feels those touches more intensely. The combination of penetration, touch, and whispered words in her ear creates a multilayered experience that feels both passionate and deeply intimate. Closeness in this position is not just physical proximity, it is about weaving together all the elements that make sex feel complete for her. Small adjustments during intimacy often make the biggest difference, and many people underestimate just how powerful these subtle changes can be. A simple shift of her hips, the placement of a pillow, or the way you angle your body can completely transform the sensations she feels. It does not take a complicated move or a new position to increase her satisfaction. What matters is how well you pay attention to her body and adapt in the moment. By being aware of these small details, you can take an ordinary experience and elevate it into something unforgettable. The best part is that these changes are easy to make once you learn to notice the signals she gives you. Take the example of placing a pillow beneath her hips during missionary. It sounds almost too simple to matter, but what it really does is change the angle of penetration so that you are stimulating areas that might otherwise be missed. That slight lift can make her body respond in ways that surprise both of you. Suddenly, the same position feels brand new because it is engaging more sensitive zones inside her. This kind of adjustment shows her that you care enough to think about her comfort and her pleasure, not just your own. It turns an everyday position into something that feels more personalized and effective. Another example is how a slight change in the tilt of your body can increase intensity. Shifting your angle just a little deeper or pressing upward instead of straight in can hit nerve endings that make her body react instantly. These movements may seem small to you, but to her they feel amplified, like a switch has been turned on. The body is highly responsive to pressure and angle, and once you start experimenting with minor shifts, you begin to see how much more satisfying the experience can be for her. Paying attention to her reactions is the key, because her body will tell you when you have found the right spot. Even the pace you set can count as a small adjustment that makes a major impact. Changing from quick thrusts to slow, deliberate movements allows her body to build tension in a different way. Sometimes slowing down enhances her pleasure far more than speeding up because it gives her time to feel every sensation fully. Alternating between these rhythms can heighten her anticipation and keep her deeply engaged. It is not about reinventing how you have sex, it is about recognizing how much power exists in these subtle variations. By adjusting pace and pressure, you make the experience feel fresh and exciting every time. These small adjustments also show her that you are tuned into her needs instead of relying on habit. Many couples fall into routines where the same positions are repeated without much thought, which can cause intimacy to lose its spark. But when you actively experiment with angles, movements, and rhythm, you break out of that cycle. You keep her body guessing in the best way possible, while also making her feel like you are focused on what works for her specifically. Those little shifts build more satisfaction than any single position alone could ever provide. The most overlooked secret to female satisfaction is communication, because no position or technique will matter if you are not paying attention to what she actually wants. Many people assume they can read their partner's mind or that doing what worked in the past will always work again, but women's bodies and moods are not static. What feels amazing one day may not feel the same another, and that is why communication is the true foundation of great intimacy. Asking her what she enjoys, listening to her feedback, and observing her body's reactions are what transforms sex from a guessing game into a deeply fulfilling experience for both of you. Communication does not have to be awkward or clinical. It can be subtle, playful, and part of the experience itself. Whispering in her ear to ask if she likes the pace you are setting, or checking in with a quiet "does this feel good?" shows her that you care about her experience. Often her nonverbal cues are just as powerful as her words. The way she arches her back, grabs your arm, or changes her breathing tells you if she is enjoying what you are doing. Paying attention to these signals is a form of communication too, and it allows you to respond in real time without breaking the flow. When you make communication a priority, it removes unnecessary pressure for both of you. She does not have to stay silent if something does not feel right, and you do not have to carry the weight of guessing whether you are pleasing her. Instead, you create an atmosphere of trust where honesty is welcomed. This trust frees her from hesitation and self-consciousness, which are some of the biggest barriers to pleasure. Knowing she can speak up and that you will respond positively makes her more willing to share what she truly needs. That openness becomes a cycle that builds stronger connection every time you are together. Another important part of communication is recognizing that it is not only about words in the moment, but about conversations outside the bedroom as well. Talking about what she enjoys when you are both relaxed can be even more valuable than asking during intimacy. It gives her time to reflect, express herself more fully, and feel safe sharing without distraction. These conversations create a roadmap for you, giving you insight into what turns her on, what positions bring her the most satisfaction, and what she would like to explore in the future. Bringing that knowledge into your intimate moments means you are already several steps ahead in creating her ideal experience. Communication is also about adaptability, because her needs may shift over time. Stress, hormones, and emotional state can all affect what she wants in bed. By keeping communication alive, you ensure that you are always meeting her where she is in that moment, rather than relying on old patterns. This flexibility makes her feel truly understood, because it shows that you are not only attentive but also willing to grow with her. When she sees that you value her voice and adjust based on what she tells you, it deepens her satisfaction far beyond the physical act.